Hey, I'm Alex, and this is my story. So, to be completely honest, I would have never thought I would be where I am today. As much as it's a cliche to say, and as much as I avoid using them, I think it's the best way to define my story. And to understand who I am, why I'm taking this class, I think knowing my background is super, super important. So, I will start at the beginning. A main passion of mine has always been storytelling. And what I didn't realize until recently is how it's been such a consistent aspect of my life. For as long as I can remember, it's just taken on different mediums throughout the years. So two of my defining qualities have always been my artistic ability and my creativity. As a kid, I was always the one that teachers entered their projects into art competitions, and everyone asked me to make personalized cards for their loved ones. But in high school, I became quiet and I was the bookworm. That's what I was known for. And I often found myself in the background, observing and listening to people around me share their stories. But then I was really immersed in my studies, and my creativity was lost to others as my shyness kind of overtook my persona, my personality. And I kind of morphed into this person that was defined and pegged by this narrative that other people had set for me. So then when I was going to school and, people are asking you, teachers, parents, they're like, oh, what do you want to do, when you go to college? What do you want to study? What do you want to do when you're older? I found myself saying I wanted to be a lawyer, and I declared my major as political science, which political science isn't too far off. I had always, I grew up in Southern Maryland, which is 30 minutes south of DC, so I found myself in DC a lot, and you're surrounded by the government and politics, so it was always a big interest of mine. But becoming a lawyer was kind of set by me because, the past 4 years I had been told I would be a great lawyer because I was a diligent researcher, I had really good attention to detail, and I could create these excellent arguments. And that's kind of how that came to be, but clearly that's not what I want to do today. 2 days into my freshman year at Clemson, I found myself walking past the Tiger Vision stand at Tiger Prowl, and I walked past it 3 times before I mustered up enough courage to go and introduce myself. And the next thing I knew, I was standing outside Cooper Library filming a man on the street interview to upload to our news channel. And ever since then, I've found this huge love for production and TV. And then second semester, freshman year, I decided I wanted to pursue TV production for my career. I added a double major in comm with an emphasis in media and technology studies. I contacted people in the industry that have been my mentors, and I've experimented with cameras and film and editing softwares, and I've never felt more like myself. Another passion of mine has always been music, and I've played the piano since I was 7, and I began playing the electric guitar 2 years ago during quarantine. One day as I was scrolling through TikTok in the height of the pandemic, I saw an ad for Z Magazine, which is a startup magazine in LA, and decided I'd taken so many chances that past year that, why not take another one? Submitted my writing samples to them. Next thing I knew, I was published in their magazine, and it was a pop culture piece. And then I was about to interview a British boy band for another piece for the magazine. So I wrote for them for about a year, and then, I decided I wanted a bigger platform. I wanted to get into print publication. So I started writing for Unclear magazine, which I still currently write for. And since then, I've just spoken to countless musicians and actors and shared their unique stories and perspectives. And I actually had my first ever cover story that came out a couple weeks ago for the January 2020 issue for Unclear. It's a feature on one of my all-time favorite bands, the Backseat Lovers. So that was really cool. But this is kind of where I am now. And like I said in the beginning, if you had told me this is where I would be if you had told me when I was sitting in class as a 15-year-old, I would have never, ever believed you. I would, go home and I would watch people interview these artists and these musicians and ask them all these questions that, once I had been dying to ask them myself. And, I always kind of imagined, oh, what would it be like to be in that position, to be able to tell these people's stories, to be able to write about it, to be a journalist. And, I think when reflecting on how I got here, I'm often surprised and in disbelief that, those fantasies, I guess you could say, those like dreams I had all those years ago, like that's where I am now. And it's something that I think if I looked back far enough in my mind, that I think I knew I always needed to be. I've always been telling stories, whether I knew it or not, my entire life. And, I told them through every painting, every piano performance, every show with my guitar, every video I've produced, every article I've written, post to my blog. I think my defining quality is I am a storyteller. And I think I've really grown into that. So the reason why I took this class was to develop my skills in storytelling and reporting. Since this is who I am, I'm always looking to improve it and learn more about my craft. And there's just so much that I still will learn and experience. And I think this class will be another key part of that growth. And the knowledge I'll learn is something that's going to be so valuable to me, especially learning from someone who does this every day. That's just knowledge that is just, you can't pass up. You can't pass up this opportunity. And I just can't wait to see my growth as a storyteller and as a journalist, and that this is the new medium I get to explore for the semester. I've had so many mediums throughout my life that have stayed with me and that, that have just evolved as I've learned more. So this will be really interesting to see how I can apply this medium to the other ones I write in and create in and tell stories in. And I also think it'll give me a lot of new perspectives and knowledge and ways to, harness that creativity and share those honest stories with the world. And I'm just really excited to see, where I go and what this class can do for me, and, what opportunities will come from it. But that's the main reason why I took this class. And I think, it's crazy that this is where I am now, but I think it's always been right where I needed to be. And this assignment especially really made me reflect on it. And I'm very grateful for that reflection, because today I learned so many things that, I probably would have never really thought about had I not been asked this question and been asked to answer this question. And, so often I find myself asking people questions where they get to reflect on their experiences, but I'm not often asked these same introspective questions. So this was a really interesting assignment for me to, just think about where I am. So this is where I am, and this is what I hope to do in this class, and I'm very excited for this semester. So thanks.